So let's get into Howitzer. I do hope I'm pronouncing that right. He's a wicked hero. He's ranged. I wouldn't say he's a carry. He's kind of a carry, but he's a ranged caster. He's got a lot of abilities, a lot of really awesome and really useful abilities. Let's just jump straight into them. So his left click. His left kicks. I normally say now he's got a standard left click, but he doesn't. First of all, it's 50 damage, which is quite high. That's energy damage, of course. But it also does a 10% splash damage to all nearby enemies, which is wicked because if you hit one enemy, you can hit all the others around him, and not only that, it's good for lane clearing and pushing the lanes down a hell of a lot quicker as well. Really, actually cool left click. Now his right click is called slow grenades. Fires 3 proximity bombs in an arc that explode, 50 energy damage, and they also slow enemies. These can be good. Something a lot of people don't really seem to realize, like how far you aim up and how far you aim down affect how far they go and how close together these are concentrated. So if you need them to go, just they don't have a massive range on them, but if you look up as you right click, they go a hell of a lot further. It's really good if you're being chased and you need a slow or something like that. It's also just good for damage and harass and to stop enemies getting away as well. Now onto his Q. Awesome ability. It's got a pretty boring name. It's just called Rocket, but it fires a long-range rocket that deals 85 energy damage. It might appear as a pretty bland ability, but when you're playing in lane, this is crucial. This is so good for harass. It's really irritating for the other team. They can't hit you, but you can just keep spamming this at them. And of course, the more energy damage you stack, the more damage this will create. So it's also really good if enemies are trying to get away, they're just a little bit too far away, you can take them out with this. Do be aware though, when you press Q, it doesn't have, you can't move left, right, forwards, backwards, you can't move, you're stationary. And there's also a timer on it when you're aiming, you can't aim for an infinite amount of time. I don't know exactly what that is, but you do have to be careful. Try and, as soon as you've got a target, do make sure you get on there. Now onto his E. Landmine. Okay, this is I like this, but it's difficult at times. So you place a mine, and after 5 seconds, it knocks any enemies and yourself back, as long as you're within its radius. It deals 50 energy damage. Also, the ability can be reactivated to detonate, something a lot of people don't realize. So a lot of this can be used as a bit of confusion in team fights for the enemy team, but it can be also used as an escape for Howitzer. But a lot of people don't realize that by pressing the E button again, it will go off like as soon as you press it. So as long as you position yourself in its radius and in the right direction, it will blast you away from the enemies. Of course, if an enemy is right on top of you, it will blast them with you, but you know, they're always going to be a meter or so away. So it's really good in team fights, really good as a bit of harass for the enemy team as well as an escape mechanism for him. Now his ult, this is a beautiful ult. So it's called Make It Rain, wicked title. So Howitzer rockets into the air and fires down a volley of missiles in the targeted area for 450 energy damage over 4 seconds. Last missile does 50% of the total damage. So first of all, this can be used as an escape as well. If you press R, you jump up into the air, you choose your target place, and then you can kind of, while in the air, move around, so you can move out of danger. First of all, it does 450 energy damage. Now that's the most of any ult I know, except for maybe Gideon's. Of course, 50% of that total damage is in the last rocket, and because your enemy can see where the damage is coming, they can get out. They can get out quite easy. With that said, it does work quite well in unison with Gideon's ult and especially Dekka's ult. Also, obviously it still can be used as an escape, and I want to emphasize that because it can be a really good escape. It can also be really good for repositioning yourself in a team fight. He's also got quite an interesting passive. So his passive is called Fast Reload. If Howitzer, again, do hope I'm pronouncing that right. If Howitzer gets a kill or an assist, his active cooldowns are reduced. Now with all the passives, they haven't put any values on them yet, so I don't know exactly. In fact, I've got no idea when it comes to this one, how quick the reloads are, whatever. But if it does work, which I haven't been looking, so I can't say whether it does work or it doesn't. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. A friend of mine told me that when he was playing, he did notice after he got a kill, all his cooldowns went instantly when in a team fight. So we'll just assume this one works. but it's wicked. It means you've got to use all your ability. Well, you should be using all your abilities anyway. And oh, this guy's caught. There's his right. Sorry, not his right click. His left is Q right there, the long range missile. It's not just point and click. It does do well. It is point and click, but it does damage in an area. So it'll deal damage. It's not a big area. Don't get me wrong. It's quite a small area. So that is something to be aware of. Also, something to notice, his projectiles are quite quick, so for his left click, it's actually wicked. It makes last hitting so much easier, it makes just hitting shit in general so much easier. This is a brilliant ability, absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, he's wicked in lane, because he's got so much harass with all his different abilities. You know, you get a mana potion. He also, he's really good in lane because of this. But because of all of his abilities later on in the game, well, not even that much later on, but say midway into the laning phase, if you've got maybe too many people who are capable in lane, he can roam and he can be quite effective at roaming and ganking and causing harass for the enemy team as well. There's his Q ability again. So yeah, absolutely wicked hero, absolutely wicked hero. Do remember, on his ult, big thing, most of the damage, 50% in fact, is done on the final missile. Which will come, I think, right at the end. You see it drop into the middle. So that's something to be wary of. Generally, I find this ability, his ultimate in particular, it's really good for getting down the tier 3, I think they're called incubators or something, the tier 3s where you get the super creeps. There's his ult, by the way. Puts down the big purple field and then deals damage. It's not a particularly good ult by myself, but hell, I've seen worse. But yeah, as I was saying, his ultimate is really good for taking down the tier 3 towers, because it'd be quite difficult to take them down, especially when the enemy groups up and makes your life just a pain in the ass because you can't get to them. But this clears them out, because it means they can't stand there or else they're going to take a shit ton of damage, and then even if the tower's attacking all of your team, you can still just jump on and hit them. And they'll be so low, you'll be fine. So yeah, it's really good. He's generally a pretty good pusher when it comes to the later side of the game, although he's not a bad pusher by any means in the mid game either. So yeah, this is him, laner, ranged, fantastic hero. I love him at the moment. He's got so many abilities to use in so many different ways. I think you can use him. Quite versatile. He's not redundant. This dude gets my seal of approval. Also, he's fun to play. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You want heroes to be good and powerful and get kills and help the team. But you want to have fun playing them, you know? This game's not competitive. Well, it's competitive, but it's not like esports just yet. And yeah, this is Howitzer, wicked hero. Thank you ever so much for watching, everyone. If you've got any comments, drop them in the comment section below. That is what they are for. And do subscribe if you want to see more videos and roundups of heroes in the new game, Paragon by Epic Games. Thank you very much for watching again, and take it easy, guys. Oh boy.